Okay, welcome back everyone in this game of Shot Online Alicization Lycoris, and as you can see there, I'm going to share a bit about what I found about this recording. Yeah, this recording is a intuitive, I think, mechanism that was introduced by the developer in order to make the game is more customizable. Okay, now I'm going to show you a bit. This is a dual wielding Kirito. Well, I'm going to show you a little bit the basic about how I learned about record. So the first one is I need to use this one hand sword, and you can see this is Kirito with the one hand sword. And then this is the personality of Kirito. As you can see, I choose a bellicose, and each personality come with something requirement in it. Okay, but I found it that you can override this one with this one. You can see the priority of how AI will do and will act when you not command them using the solving function is like this. Like if this the orders like this, then Kirito will likely do this recovery action. As you can see, I have set it like this. So in the recovery action, then the option is that he will do the echo of life and then use the charge of luminous second art. As you can see, this will be continue. But this is the different condition. As you can see, party member HP is below 30% and will use the echo of life, for example. But if the party member is 60% and then the distance for the party member, this is recorded while you are playing as a character that using one hand sword, and then this is recorded when you do the recovery act. So in order to make it a little bit more better and useful, you need to unlock all the heal skill first, and then you try to perform it when you are using the character with one hand sword, for example, to do that. So the system will record it. But the one that I found is very useful when this one hand sword is, if you look at the skill that have been known for one hand sword, there's some skill that I found is very important. The first one is horizontal. Why horizontal is important? Because horizontal will debuff the enemy that's been attacked with this skill with attack debuff. That means that the attack will be a little bit reduced. And if you have one or maybe 2 person having this horizontal square, then the enemy will be get debuffed twice or double. So the damage will be a little bit not very dangerous for your character. And then I'm going to show you this Nova Ascension. Why Nova Ascension is good to be combo with the horizontal. So the character you do is the horizontal and then Nova Ascension, because Nova Ascension have the effect of defensive debuff. That means that the character that will hit with this combo will have the attack and defense reduce. And also the one is very important about this one hand sword is the purple strike. Why? Because purple strike is destroy the defensive and rail up formation. And you can see when the enemy is doing the skill that giving some like a blue light, then it's called the defensive mode, and then you do the purple strike. Okay, and then a little bit more about that one is vertical. Vertical will be useful when it's going to interrupt a full enhanced formation. So there's a type of skill, and you can see here that the one hand sword is very useful to debuff the enemy. Okay, now let's go to the skill 3, and now I'm going to explain a little bit maybe about the rapier thing. Okay, the second skill that I have in this one is rapier. What is rapier good for? Rapier basically good for increasing hazard move with this quadruple page. It's an asana signature move. But the one that's very much useful and I'm already also trying to unlock is this one, flashing penetrator, because it's very good if working together with purple strike. It will be they make the enemy double when they use the defensive formation, when there's a blue light over them that is covering them. And also the one is very good is Star Splash. When the enemy is in the air, then you use the Star Splash, the damage that will be affected to the enemy will be more than a normal post condition. Also, this one is volume. Volume also good to interrupt enhanced formation of the enemy. Okay, and you can also use this one linear, but I prefer to use this flashing penetrator later on. And also shooting star. Shooting star is very good if you can get the enemy into broken and then use a shooting star after that. So it's better that you can combo this one, the shooting star, and then this one, Star Splash. Okay, this is about a little bit about rapier. And then let's look about what I already tested also is this katana. This katana, if you see that this have a skill called Zeku. Zeku is very good because it's debuff the defense, same with the Nova Ascension. And then you can see there is another skill that's very good. Is interrupting the enemy action, Okifune. And also there is a very good is a Sumuji Guruma. The one is launch the enemy very good at the enemy that is in the air. And also this one, Shinonome. So this one is the katana have a similar with a one-hand sword, so they are very useful to debuff because it's going to debuff attack and debuff defense, and also going to destroy defense formation. But if we use the Gengetsu. Okay, so this is about the katana, and also this is about one-hand sword. The one-hand sword, the one that's very useful is Avalanche. Why Avalanche? Because as you can see in the description of the Avalanche is it forcibly make the enemy down, interrupt the enemy and down it, and also remove the enhanced status. And also the one that very good is also this one. For if the enemy in the air, then you can use a meteor fall to do triple damage to them. And also this one, Katar, to remove the enemy enhanced status. So you should know about what this each of the sword skill used for, and then you can design it the AI to work for you when you are battling. For example, today I see that I already set both Tisa and Ronnie correctly with the one-hand sword as a debuffer for my team. That's why I can easily beat the enemy in that southern corridor because I already prepare them. Okay, and then about the arrow, this is I will need another explanation, yeah, because I use this arrow very much useful when against a flying enemy. But now let's go see my Ronnie, for example. Okay, this is Ronnie, and then you can see a record that I already set. This is I prioritize Ronnie to debuff the powerful enemy. Therefore, the formation is like this. You can use it. She will use horizontal and then Nova Ascension at a very top priority, and then she also can use the more powerful of horizontal. You can see horizontal arc and horizontal square to even make the debuff more powerful. And also this one is the I think everything still the same because I also find it that only setting this is enough because the enemy that you fight will be almost at the debuff position. At least they will have less defense and less attack, which is very useful when I tried also yesterday with Liva against the flying whale, the one that is in the Kriskov. It's very useful to make the whale damage doesn't really hurt you because it has the attack down. So attack down is very important. That's why I set this one. And also attack and break enemy formation is also very important. Why? Because it will remove the enemy cover and will make them vulnerable. That's why I set into Forceful Strike and then do the Nova Ascension for more damage after we remove the defense, and then you can see the Nova Ascension after that. And the alternative, I can use this horizontal, as you can see, horizontal arc versus square, and then Nova Ascension to remove the defense and also the attack. This is the alternative, but the best one is the first one, using the purple. And then the one that also useful is the recovery thing. Yeah, I'm not experiment much with Ronnie about the recovery, but I experiment much with Kirito and find it very useful. But I think it's better if you can have the access of the use the Light of Gods, because it's I think the most powerful healing skill. Also this one, as you can see, this is the requirement of the condition when this will activated. So if the enemy not debuff, then the character that have a set like this will prioritize the debuff enemy. And also this one, enemy in the special state, means that enemy in the defensive position or in the enhanced formation, that they will use automatically use the purple. This is the goal. That's why you need to care about this condition and custom it based on your playstyle. For example, look at that, this condition, this is a purple strike, right? But the enemy status is God, okay, but the distance of the enemy must be 10 meter or lower. No, I think 10 meter, at least 10 meter. This is not lower, right? Yeah, the distance of the enemy is 10 meter. So if the distance of with the enemy is closer than 10 meter, then this one will not be activated. So that's why it's important to keep your eyes on this requirement that is set automatically when it's recorded, because when you perform it, maybe you are at that distance from the enemy. That's why this has happened different. As you can see, this one is 7 meter and this one is 5 meter, and also this one is 7 meter. Okay, and then the next one is the perform rush attack. This is what they will use, the AI will use when they are not attacking, the enemy not attacking. So when you approach the enemy, then they will use this action mostly. Okay, and then this one is a power up allies. If the ally is not power up, then they will use this one. So it's like that. So well, this is what the basic thing about the one hand sword that I have found very useful. Now let's look at Liva here. I think my Liva have a little different record slot. Yeah, there's one free, and you can see there you can record the new depend on what the enemy, what you want they to do. The taunt enemy will taunt the enemy, of course, and then perform recovery action. Okay, you already know to heal, and also reduce the damage taken. Then we'll use the most of the skill that will enhance defense will be included in this art code. Okay, this one is never miss a chain opportunity. That means that when there's a chain opportunity, then we will looking up for a chain. And also for the power up allies is the one that I already explained before about Ronnie code. So well, the next one is the rapier. How I set Asuna to become a little bit more useful. As you can see in the record here, Asuna is prioritized for Bellicose. That's why I'm trying to linking it. The first one is a very simple. It's just do the quadruple pain 1 until 4, and then I try to branch it the quadruple pain and then use it using a star splash after that. Or you can use the Spica Caliber first and then use the quadruple pain. This is recorded when you do this action, yeah. When you controlling a character using a rapier, and then you can copy it, or you can use Asuna and then it will copy like this. So use the star splash and then use a volume, then or use the star splash and then use the quadruple pain and then volume level 1 and volume level 2. And you can see also this one is also the one that, for example, with a different condition here. For example, Asuna is in the field now, in the field, and then position is the enemy is can be chained up, so maybe she will use this one, the Spica Caliber, and then when the enemy doesn't attack, after she attack, then he will use quadruple pain. But if the enemy, for example, is available for the chain attack, yes, then he's using the Star Splash, okay, and then use follow up it with volume. This is the difference. The quadruple pain won't occur if the enemy is do the attacking. For example, I think this is you can set up based on your what you want, yeah. Therefore, the AI will not staying idle. So my suggestion is, for the one hand sword at the beginning, you can set them like this. First is debuff. Therefore, the AI will prioritize almost to do the debuffing the enemy, the attack, and also the defense, which is very useful. And then the second one, you set them to break enemy defense using purple. And then you can choose whether you want them to do recovery first or do the rush attack. For example, this Liva, I make it like this because I want her as my secondary healer, not only the character I control. Because I tend to not control Liva, but I control the other character, for example Kirito, then I have a second handy healer there. Or you can set also Asuna, mainly to do the recovery, I think, if you want. Because a rapier debuff is not really useful for debuff. Why? Because the skill set of rapier is only few that have a debuff. For example, quadruple pain is just interrupt enhanced formation. Linear is also only interrupt defense formation. The one that I found very useful of this one is flashing penetrator to interrupt enemy defensive formation. But the other one is only to use to increase hazard, for example here. And then this one is to interrupt enemy enhanced formation. And this one is to do the speed down debuff. But I don't think the speed down debuff will really doing a lot, yeah. Therefore, for basic thing, I think for rapier, you can set it like this, like what I do here. Attack and break enemy formation will be the top priority, using flashing penetrator, and then you can add this one, use venomous course, because it's very useful skill. Why? As you can see here in the skill tree, venomous curse will be poison the enemy and also will be reduce the attack by 5%. Okay, reduce the attack by 5%. And also, oh no, not this will be increase the hazard dodge by 50%, and also will make it very vulnerable from the attack from the rear by 20%. And also you can notice here that each combat skill can be customized by pressing A, and you can see that you can customize it to add a more effect time, but it will be cost you more SP, like that. So each of these combat skill will be can be customized. But for me, that the one that I found that useful and almost all my character has, because they are currently I'm not applying specific role for them, is Echo of Life to, of course, to give a HP regen, and then SWAT Dance to increase accuracy, Howling of the Soldier to increase attack, and then this one, Venomous Curse. That's why I'm set the passive is like this. Rising Spirit to give a stat increase for strength, vitality, dexterity, and agility, and also Domain of the Expert to raise the skill connect X count to deal more damage. And also this passive is very good, High Precision Machine to give you accuracy plus 15, and also Mental Resonance to increase spatial accuracy, and then also give a physical resist. This one that the basic thing that I think are very good. Or you can use this trace for blood, for example, but it will be increase your critical rate, but it will be cost of your defense. So make sure that your character have high HP like this. I said Kirito have 22,000 more HP now, and Ronnie and and Liva also doesn't have. That's why I try to differentiate their setting. Therefore, when you attacking enemy, for example, I will show you in the Cordia plane. I think very useful to do that. So I will bring Liva, Ronnie, and also Asuna here to let you see what the enemy will do, what the EI will do. So we are going to Normangat, I think. We are going to Cordia plains. Maybe the story will be a little bit continue. I don't know. I'm just going to show you against the turtle in the center of the Cordia plain, I think. Okay, no trigger. Okay, nice. Yeah, as you can see here, okay, you cannot fast travel now for some reason. Okay, because there's another mission here. So let's go back. I'm sorry, I'm going to Soterproist then to demonstrate how you do the thing. As you can find also in my previous video in the Southern Corridor, I can defeat the trap fairly easy because I have the debuffer that constantly do it. And for the additional thing, you can also order them to automatically do some debuff, yeah. So it will be help you very much. What you want is when you fight facing the enemy is your partner immediately debuff them. So plus your debuff, if you are using a one sword, for example, one hand sword, then it will be triple the debuff. For if you bring two partner that using sword, so it's very useful. I found it very useful to beat enemy with a high type of defense. Okay, so there's a new symbol then about the climb cluster, I think. Yeah, there's a new quest, I think, about that, but I will not. I will ignore that, and I will try to find a tortoise, verdant tortoise, the one that I think very useful. But their level is not that high, so I'm going straight to, I think, Southern Corridor. Yeah, I need to go to Southern Corridor to demonstrate because the Southern Corridor enemy has a nice HP. Yeah. Okay, so as you can see, there is a lot of claims already. Yeah, I also realized this, and while I'm doing practicing and do a trial and error also again with the reports. That's why I'm trying to make this video is to also to reclaim it that no, not all the say that the AI doesn't helpful. It's not because the AI doesn't helpful, but because you doesn't able yet to figure out what you want from the AI. Well, let's see. I think in the Criscove is enough. I think, yeah, a lot of clump has been emerged here, and this has really helped me to beat a lot of clandestine beasts. Yeah, maybe I cannot tackle the enemy with the very high level. For example, the head of the violent clan, because all the my attack will be missed because their level is far above me and also above my above my gear that I have. Therefore, it's not useful. But for enemy, I think a normal enemy level 16 or level even above that is I can take them. I really can take them. Okay, so the update I think make the map a little bit lower, I think. if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so wow, a lot of thing appeared here, and also okay, the garment group is simply can be repeatable because the enemy you fight is also can be repeatable. Most people say that okay, the flying wheel is annoying, but when you already nail it, it will be a little bit not very much problem. Okay, let's use this on this ocean crab. I think I will call one, and you can see how the AI now will react. You can see they are going to the debuff thing. Okay, and then and this will be recorded as a debuff. You can see, and you immediately going to connect with them. You can see that they all immediately use their assign. You can see the debuff of all enemy will be collected, will be recorded, because what I do is debuffing enemy. Okay, Ronnie is down. It's better because the level of the enemy is high. Yeah, because the enemy level is high, a lot of the tech were missing. But I think that they do the correct thing. Yeah, they do the correct thing. I'm sorry, I think this one is not a nice example because the enemy level is too high. But actually you can, with this one, as you can see, I already do half of them, although the level of the enemy is far above us. You can see my level is 48 and the enemy is 67. Okay, down. Yeah, but you can see that what the AI do. The AI doesn't stay idling. Okay, that's you can see they immediately will use Nova Ascension, which is very useful. Nova Ascension is very useful to down the enemy defense, but I don't know why it doesn't show that the enemy defense is already been dropped. But it should be it should give the sign that the enemy defense is been dropped down. You can see even the enhanced armament doesn't do much against this trap because his level is almost too high. But you can see that the AI now is reactive correspondingly with I1. You can see that the icon there, Ronnie is taking up that symbol, that arrow symbol means that Ronnie is doing the set of skill number 2, which is attack and break enemy formation. Because the enemy is in the guard position, then it's going to change like that. So that's why the most important about the record is to make the AI do what they need to do and what you want them to do in the certain condition. That's why you need to pay attention to their art code here, what they will do. And also it's better that you are using them as a Kirito, because Kirito can wield any type of weapon, so you can copy immediately like this, for example, Liva, and then you can check from the storage, you can copy from Kirito, and then it will appear here. Okay, this one. So for example, I try to use to copy Kirito bow art code to Sinon before. That's why I have this here. So, and you can view the preview about the storage that you already saved. So you will see that if you can decide whether okay, I want this one, okay, this is a pretty good enough or not. But the thing that before you set the combo, the set that record is you know which combo is good for each type of weapon. That's why it's very important for you to understand about what each weapon do. Each weapon have a different kind of thing that they can do. For example, like what I explained before, one hand sword is very good for debuffing. That's why it's pretty recommended that you are setting your partner one hand sword as this debuff powerful enemy, so they will prioritize the buff and also recovery. If you want a second healer other than yourself, and then you can set them to attack and break enemy formation like I do with Ronnie here, to make them usually automatically use the forceful strike when the enemy is in the defensive mode. So it's very interesting, and you can do the same also with the other type of weapon, for example katana. For katana you can also do the same. So as you can see in our previous battle before, there's a few things is recorded, so let's check what is it. As you can see, when you are doing the horizontal and the Nova Ascension, then the computer will be recorded it as and will add the other necessary step. For example, this is the correct one, horizontal, and then use the Nova Ascension, and then you use a horizontal again to debuff the enemy, more debuffing on the enemy, and also chain it up with the Venomous Course, and then use the horizontal arc, and then use a horizontal square. And you can see that it can be branch also. You can see use a horizontal, and then use a horizontal again, use a horizontal arc, and then use a horizontal square, for example. The branch is what they will do after that. Okay, so they will starting with all as I say in my previous video, they will starting everything with thinking. When they are in the field of the battle, they will thinking, and they will do what and what. Okay, this one, for example, they will do Nova Ascension first. Okay, enemy is not debuffed, then they have the option to do this or to do this. Okay, the more the usage rate, I think it will be the one that will be activated, or to differentiate it, you can just change this one, the distance from the enemy. For example, if you find okay, Nova Ascension is more efficient from far away, then you can increase the distance like that. And also with the special horizontal arc and horizontal square, this is basically about how you play and how you want to play. That's why when you are doing the recording, I think it's better that you are facing only one enemy. The one that I favorite to use is the Cordia Plains Turtle, because it's have a very set of a very static move. The first one is they remove the leg, which you can easy deflect, and then the second one is do the defensive attack using their cell that you can counter with the forceful strike, and then they will use the two thing, the heal thing, and also the attack thing that will make you confused, so you just need to run away with it. And this is very useful when you are controlling, for example, archer or bow. Why? Because bow have this type of chord. You can see here, focus on evading attack. Therefore, when the enemy is attacking, then you can use this one, aim and shot, to go away from the enemy, and then immediately use this one to correct aim, or use Strike Nova immediately, or you can do the Hail of Bullet first and then do the correct aim. That's why this will make you far away, a little bit far from the enemy, but you can still hit them with the chain of the combo like this. It's very useful for the archer. Okay, and this is what I set with my bow, and I found it very useful, this type of combo against the flying whale. So using the correct aim and then use a hail of bullets, or you can use a correct aim and then use a strike nova, or you can use a aim and shoot. For example, when the enemy is very close from you, for example 5 meters, then you can get away, because when you use the aim and shoot, your character will jump away from the enemy. That's why it's a chain like that. So when you found what is your play style, and then what you feel that okay, this is very good, and then you can just use it immediately in the battle, and then the game will record it, and then you can check. This is likely will be a check and always recheck, because sometimes it will be recorded wrong. For example, the horizontal have another requirement, not the enemy not debuff. For example, it said that enemy in the specific defense formation, then you want to delete it and then redo it again until it's recorded like this horizontal, and then use a novization, and then whatever you like. So well, the most important thing about this is to understand about this type of skill and how they are work for it, especially the SWOT skill, because you are going want to take the advantage of this skill. That's why it's very important to understand about what each kind of weapon do. Like that I already shown in the example, very easy about the one-hand sword, because one-hand sword is very clearly have some distinct skill that will be really worthwhile to be used when against the enemy. Horizontal is to decrease the attack of the enemy, and also Nova Ascension that will be giving the enemy a defense, lower the enemy defense, and also this powerful strike that will destroy enemy defense formation. That's it. So the way that you are, why your EI character is idling, because they don't know what to do. Maybe they don't have a very built up record, and the condition is setting wrong. For example, enemy not debuff, you can customize here, not targeted by the enemy, therefore it won't activate it. So you need to be sure about the requirement set here, because each code can be customized like this. For example, enemy in special state, or enemy in defensive formation, enemy in rail up formation, enemy in enhanced formation, enemy in a finisher formation. So everything you can see, this is this one is to respond to enemy, and then attack and break enemy formation like that. And also this one, the rush attack also you can customize, also enemy not attacking, or attack from the same position, or do the attack after the other character already opened the enemy defense. So everything set here must be correct. Okay, so therefore I will recommend, I think, as a few persona that I already discovered that is very good. For example, Lycoris is very good. Why? Because not only about chaining the enemy, Lycoris is very good because its passive is given more art gauge feel over time. And the other one that I think is very good is, for example, Considerate, because Considerate will try to keep your character HP at the adequate level. Also the same with Benevolent. You can see this is the same, but this Considerate is the increase the efficiency of the ally HP regen skill. And Stalwart is to increase the enemy HP, the character HP, maybe for a tanker if you would like to be tanker. And this Inquisitive, I think, is not very useful unless you are going to assign them a role of support, because at the support level, you don't want the character to be so close with enemy, because support will always stay behind. That should make it a logic why Inquisitive has this requirement at part with the set of distance. Okay, and this one also same wise, because it increase the effective range of the character support skill. So the support can be stay far away from the attacker, and then can use the support skill to support the attacker. And also the diligent is very good to when you want HP bonus from killing the enemy. But in the battle it won't be having much useful, because your character is going to be a little bit passive unless you have another record at the slot number 1 until number 5 to override this diligent trait. And also tactical is the same with bellicose. In the enemy in the chain state, but the difference is the tactical increase the character max SP. The SP of the character will be increased, so you can use a more skill connect EX. And also the spiritually Artscode, this one is also giving a character SP regen, but you can see the requirement again not target by the enemy, therefore you need to assign them well. Also, this is the X skill that you can choose to determine what your partner will do. For example, you want them as a buffer, then they will stay behind, so the personality set will be also matching with the personality match will be the personality of the character will be matched with the role of their have. For example, attacker, then you need to be more offensive, that's for chaining attack, for example. And then defender will be likely want to have a more HP and then use a more defensive skill. And also for berserker, they will be also use even more aggressive skill. And then scout basically will make them really supportive, will only do a chain and stun attack like that. And tanker will try to aggro the enemy, and then SP buffer like that. So everything is, I think this record, I think maybe a lot of people want to, okay, I want some script like if else code, so it's pretty much helpful. But I know that this game is want to implement AI learning. That's why the AI we're learning in the system is learning by what? By our action. So whether we are doing the action that is deemed to be fit for the future use. For example, you meet the enemy and then you use horizontal, and then the record will almost record it into debuff powerful enemy or attack and break enemy formation if you do the horizontal when the enemy is in the defensive formation. And also the purple when you are attacking enemy and the enemy in the defense mode, and then you use purple, then the record will be recorded like this, that I already said before, purple Nova, for example. And also when your HP is down and then you do a recovery action, so therefore it will be recorded like this. And you can also use a preset here using the record new, and then you will able to choose any art you want. But this is have a disadvantage, I think, that you cannot customize with the combo you want, because you will start with only one skill. For example, this one, why I use recovery from the recorded one, because I want the Light of Guts. Light of Guts is really healing a lot of HP. If you can trigger it, if your partner can trigger it, is very good to keep your party alive, for example, for against the Divine Beast. With this this with recorded set, as you can see here, I'm able to defeat a lot of enemy, which is powerful enough for me. And as you can see, I am in the difficulty hard. That's why, as you can see, I already collect a lot of things like this. Is from with the Divine Beast, not Divine Beast, the Clandestine Beast, that is a level 50 or above. I am only not able to attack the Violent Clan, the head of Violent Clan, because of my accuracy is not good enough. So almost all my attack is missed. But if you can see here, I already get a lot of item from the Beast Battle. For example, this Beast Pole, Rifle Dagger, and then Whirlpool Hammer, and also what is else here? I also get this Moondrop Rifle, and then I get the Savage Tail Whip. Also I get, which one else? Double Edge Blade, like that. So it's very useful, especially against a gigantic beast that you have a debuffer but you don't have to set them. As you can see, I don't set Diva or Ronnie as debuffer here. They are set as attacker, but because they record I set like this, then there will be prioritize this one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is the priority order for them to select which action they want to do. Therefore, it's very efficient if you have this by trial and error as the perfection of what kind you want, what kind of the play you want, by utilizing, of course, this type of the skill tree. Then after that, pretty sure that your AI will not stay idle anymore. It's because that you set the wrong codes, or you doesn't set any codes for them. For example, the one that I haven't used much. Well, which one? Sorry, the one that I haven't used much in this case. For example, okay, this is during combat. Okay. For example, I take down here. For example, Medina, no, Silica, and maybe Lisbeth. Yeah, I don't use her much. Or L3 because I just acquired him. As you can see, the record when the character is with you, mostly only this power up Alice with the basic. This is a basic, really basic set of code of record, and you can make it a little bit more effective by record new. Or you are playing with this character doing the skill that you want them to perform. Like this also Silica, because I haven't used her much. Therefore doesn't have much thing recorded here. So basically in the battle she will do nothing unless buffing and then do the recovery. That's why it's very important to set this record. Very important to set this record according to your playstyle or what do you think is very good. That's why I say before, that's very important for you to understand the use of each of the skill here. That's why I cannot yet give a brief explanation about dagger and mace, because I haven't experimented a lot with them. I just experiment with rapier, I think katana, and then one hand sword, and also this rapier. So well, you basically need to understand everything, and the very efficient way if you want a little bit more efficient is use Kirito. Just change Kirito weapon like this. For example, I change it into katana, then his record will be for katana. So Kirito can have a set of different record depend on what weapon he is using. You can see, and when I change it into, for example, rapier, I also haven't testing much here with the rapier using Kirito. So you will do fine like this. I'm just a beginning of the chapter 3, so well, maybe this is not very useful, but this is the basic explanation that I can give based on my experiment about how to make record work for you. So record is actually not broken. Okay, and then I'm going to view the tutorial again to refresh about the enemy stance of the attack. Yeah, this is, you can view the tutorial here. That's why it's very important to read it. What I want to show you is about attacking, about the enemy type of attack. That's when you will able to utilize your skill. You can see here the defensive formation is looking when the enemy is glowing blue like this. Okay, so you need a skill that can do a guard break, for example, purple strike to break through the shield. Enhanced formation, enemy dons a blue aura, not with the shield, so only blue, glowing blue, and then you can use the skill that remove this enhance. I already show you a little bit about which what skill that can remove enhance. And then finisher formation, when the enemy glowing black, is very powerful attack, so you need the perfect guard or deflect into counter attack that can remove this aura. A real up formation is when the enemy eyes growing bright, and then make them able to use a powerful skill. To break this one, you need to aim your skill at the eye of the enemy, and then this one is there's several SWOT skill that can remove real up formation. And then in previous formation is a previous barrier. You need the chain brush flame star to break through this barrier. So the barrier is looking like a white shield that cover all the enemy. This is a previous formation. And about the finisher formation, I have one little more to tell you. This is the dual wielding skill. There's one of dual wielding skill that is very useful if you want to remove the finisher status. You can use this countless spikes. So when the enemy is glowing black, then you can use this finisher status. I do use this when I fight the enemy with a very nasty finishing status, like the one in the Cordia Plains, the beast. I think the one that use a lightning attack mostly. So I use these countless spikes to counter that finisher move by the enemy. Also, it's very important that you keep an eye on your partner accuracy. That's why I try to improve. Let's see back again with my normal party. Okay, my normal party usually consists of Asuna, Liva, and Sinon. You can see that I take care about their accuracy. You can see Sinon already soaring high with 125, for example. Asuna 136, and Liva is at 101. Therefore, this one will increase their chance to hit the enemy. So that's why accuracy is very important, because if not, then if your accuracy is lower than the enemy defense or evasion rate, then you will fail to hit the enemy. So this will be counted as miss. So that's why it's very important that you make sure that your partner has a high accuracy to make these records really helpful for you. For example, in my battle in my team, then Liva will mostly do the debuffing the enemy. Asuna will try to rally the enemy using her skill. For example, this one, enemy in the chain state. That's why I don't have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, because I already have this one recorded. When the enemy in the chain state, then Asuna will have a lot of option. You can use a quadruple pain, and then you do the star splash or what. But if the enemy doesn't do that, and the enemy, for example, is attacking me, for example, not attacking her, then she has this option, for example. But if the enemy is in the air, then Asuna will do this. And then, for example, if the enemy is Hazard, then Asuna will do this. This one I'm still need to do a little bit more recording, I know. But the one that I already satisfying with Asuna here is Bellicose, attack and break enemy formation, and perform rush attack is really helpful for me, because this attack break formation, she only need to use this flashing penetrator, and she really using that a lot. This usage rate is not the usage rate by the AI. This is the usage rate by you. This is of course is 0 because I haven't have access to the flashing penetrator yet. That's why there's no combo featuring flashing penetrator yet. Because I'm also still at the beginning. I'm still on the chapter 3, but I already found out that it's possible in the hard difficulty to beat the beast, the clandestine beast. That is a level 50 or lower. For example, this is in the Riskov. I already beat this one. Need a level 34 in the normal difficulty, but in the high is going to be a level 51 or so. And also this one level 30 I already beat. Also this one level 41 I already beat. So I already beat 3 monsters here. Only one, this one is remaining because this one level is above 70, so I can take it like now. But for the rest of the enemy I already take it down. As you can see here, if you are going for the recruit mode, there's a lot of beasts that I already done. For example, which one? This one in the Warmia. This is the Nectarlet, the Tempter, and then where is it? The next one is this one in the Dosodot Desert, the Gargantuan, the Cactus, and so on. I already also defeat this one in the Rain Lax or the Crab, I think, and this given the Moon Drop Rifle. This is level 31, yeah, means in the hut is around level 50. And also this one in the Vicia Valley, level 29. In the normal, level 35 in the normal. That's giving this beast hole. This one is giving a Soching Blade. So it's possible, I think, to defeat the clandestine beast even before you reach end games, if you have a correct setup. So that's why I do a lot of learning and do a lot of experiment. That's it. So well, the record thing I don't think is a broken feature. It's a very nice feature on the game if you can utilize it. If you can learn from it and you can set it up correctly, then it will be really help you in defeating the enemy, because you not depend on yourself or depend on this, do the soul linkage to control your partner, but let the attack flow, so you can concentrate with your character attack like this, and the partner around you will do what they are ordered to do based on the record. So you don't need to order them to do everything each time, because it's also have a cooldown. You cannot immediately order them when they are up to do something. The one that I found very important is to delete as soon as there is a unnecessary segment in your record. For example, using a special art like this one, arrow shape, or this one, water cutter, because the damage is really nothing and not very much useful. But you want, okay, I'm sorry, but you want them, if possible, is casting this to minions often, and then this one, maybe magic mirror to counter the enemy, like that. So the more that you play, the more that you learn. Therefore, you need to use, I think, all kind of weapon to know what is plus and what is minus, and what you will do with that type of weapon. That's why I really spent a lot of time with the one-hand sword, rapier, and then the last one is dual wielding and also bow, to understand more what they are used for. So what I want my partner do when I not control them and they use this kind of weapon. That's why what I want you need to think first. For example, okay, I'm using now is dual wielding. My partner, for example, is Alice, Asuna, and Yu-Gi-Oh. What you want them to do? For Alice and Yu-Gi-Oh, obviously you want them to do the debuff because they are using one-hand sword, and for Asuna, you want her to follow up the attack so you can create more chain. It's very important to keep the attack keep flowing, so your AI doesn't idling too much, so they will eventually help you. And when they do the attack at the same of you, then the chain burst will be created, and it can be level up even more to level 2 3 so far. If you haven't unlocked the skill here that allowing the chain pass level 4, which is in the scout branch here, after you learn the brand of the flower blade, but it's an active skill, so you need to active this skill. This is not a passive skill, not like this one, yeah. Domain of the expert is very useful because it's a passive skill. You don't need to activate it often, always activate it in, and you have a skill connect X count +1, means you can connect 3 skill. That's what you need to understand. So I think that's it about the record. This is just a basic thing about record, how you make that the AI around you doesn't idling around, but they do something that is useful for you. And remember that the order is a priority what the AI will do when they are in the battle. So you can set them as much as you want. For example, like I explained before, you want Levi as your secondary healer, then you can put them at number 2, for example. So if the enemy is already debuffed, Levi will be act as your main healer. But if you want Levi more responsible to break the enemy guard, then you can just set like this. You swap 4 to 2, and then you swap 4 to 3, for example, like that. So Levi will be prioritized to debuff, and then will break enemy formation like that. So this is very important to understand how the attack will going to be flow. And also with Sinon, for example, you almost want her to break enemy formation, so that's why using correct aim very good, very useful to break enemy formation. And then the chaining up attack, and then use attack from the airborne enemy. And then although it's a setting at the very last, but you want every of your bow have this evading attack. This is to avoid them getting a lot of hit due to be very too close to the enemy, especially if you don't have tanker around. That's why you need to read of description also about this X skill before you set them on. I set them to attacker all because I want them to dish up more damage, yeah. But maybe later on, if I unlock the raid function and I'm going to raid dungeon, of course I will set them to a more specific role, because you have a lot of people with me, so I can have, for example, 4 is attacker, 4 as a supporter like that. But for this, because I only can bring 4 people, then I want to maximize the damage that I can do, because for me the best defense is a good offense always. That's what I always do, because of that I set everyone in my party as attacker, because I want them to attack, because attack is a very good offense. Although maybe you will risk your partner will go down because the enemy is attacking much, but as soon as you are going to teach them about avoiding the attack, then they will avoiding the attack eventually. Like for example Asuna. Okay, and then as you can see, yeah, that's it. Very important for you to know about how the AI work. The AI work basically based on this record. So if this record is empty or nothing here, then the AI will almost doing nothing. So that's why the very better option is the use Kirito alone against one single enemy and practice everything that you want. Practice the combo that you always do, that you love. Okay, this combo is very good for me, it's creating a lot of damage for me. Then you will have it recorded, and then you can check it whether it's already correct in the correct order or not. If it's not in the correct order, you can delete the record and then you try again until it's recorded what you want, the very step that you want. Because after that you will do this one, you will copy here and to the storage, and then you will load into the other one hand sword. For example, well, I'm already set, I think. Okay, I'm already set. Okay, still they don't withdraw their weapon. I already set all my one hand sword into the buffer. You see, Yu-Gi-Oh is break enemy formation first and then debuff, and then Alice also will also prioritize in debuffing. That's why it's very important to know and to set them what you want them to do in the first of the battle, what they want to do. For example, also Sontilena, I think I already used all of the character here except Silica. Yeah, Lisbeth I already try a few times, but I need to understand about how to quick, how to efficiently use mace. Yeah, because mace attack is take some time, so it takes while longer than sword, rapier, or even bow. So it's take a lot of time to learn, and I'm still learning here. That's why I try to create this video, I think, to help you understand about the essential of this record and how it will do and how it will be branched out and how it will. And always also remember that record will always override the new act that you do can renew everything in your record. For example, like this, you can see it's a new, although it's already been set before. You can see this is the usage rate. You can see the one that attack and break enemy formation. I don't use a lot with Yu-Gi-Oh, or even never, but this is OP from Kirito. That's why in Kirito I think it will be have some amount. This one is Kirito. Let's see, I'm going to set it back to one hand sword using this Knight's Gameblade +2. You can see the record here when attack and break enemy formation. You can see 7. I use them 7 times until it's really connect into the one that I want. Then I copy it to Yu-Gi-Oh, and you can see that a little bit that Yu-Gi-Oh branch already a little bit different from Kirito, because what is learning over time, the new chain of the new record will override the old one. That's why there is an option to lock it here, so you can lock the branch that you want to lock. You can see lock segment, you can lock it, so the computer won't override it when, for example, all the segment 22 already full to max, and then you do something different that doesn't record it yet. For example, you learn new skill, like me now. I'm today unlock the Starbust Stream, then I use a Starbust Stream a lot. Then the computers find it that okay, no space more to unlock to record the last move. That's why it is going to be deleting the brand skill that you haven't really used. Okay, I don't think that is already been recorded here. The Starbust Stream. See Night Marine, Councils of Spike. As you can see, everything has been recorded. It's basic on what I do, yeah. What I do with this character when I do a double dual wielding like this. So I think I will also do a little bit more correction with this, because I also want to this Kirito using Starbust Stream when I control the other character. That's why. So it's very important to understand how the AI will always rely on this record on their action, what they will do. So it's not true that the AI is not helpful or the AI is poor as your partner. It's because you haven't set them. They are very strict with this once you already set them. Okay, So I think, yeah, I think that's it for today. Thank you for watching this video. If you find this video useful, then please give a like. But if you find this video is not useful, then you can give a dislike. And please subscribe to my channel, because I'm going to continue my journey here in this game, in the chapter 3 and so on. And I will also try to make any more tutorial video, or maybe about the explanation or describing about the system in this game that is new from the previous game. For example, like record like this. So if you like, and if you would like to subscribe, then I will be really thankful. So thank you for today, and goodbye, and I hope every one of you have a good day. Thank you.